Super Rugby Round 7, the Dream Team. Is it going to be the last round for the Dream Team? Time will tell. We'll wait and see. I've picked 15 of the best players from round number 7. Obviously, it includes no Rebels, Jaguares, or Highlanders, because none of them played. And I've only included one player from a losing team. So when in doubt, and there's always a lot of doubt with the Dream Teams as to who I should pick, I generally go with the player who was playing for a winning team. It's an easy way to separate guys. But yeah, as I always mention, it's kind of a fantasy style team. I've got a couple of tight heads this week, couple of number 8s, but yeah, we'll see how we go, and you guys can let me know your thoughts. Start with the big boys up front. I've gone with the Sharks player. I've gone with Thomas Tutoy, mostly for his scrummaging. 8 runs, 6 meters, his decent work rate for a prop, 5 passes and an offload, 3 out of 4 tackles. He won a turnover, didn't concede a single penalty, and was just something of a force to be reckoned with at scrum time, up against a pretty useful pack, to be fair, in the Stormers. So very good effort from him. Taniela Tupou from the Reds. He's been having a pretty good couple of weeks, hasn't he? He had a try and a try assist, which is ridiculous for a prop. 5 runs, 5 meters, and yet somehow beat 4 defenders and had a clean break. How do you do that and only go 5 meters? I do not know. 9 from 11 tackles, and even managed a line-out win, which again, for a prop, is verging on the ridiculous. Hooker, I've gone with another Reds player. I've gone with Murphy, so he had a try. He had 11 runs for 12 meters, which is quite a busy bit of work rate. Had a clean break, beat a defender, had a turnover. 9 from 10 tackles, and the line-out percentage was 93%. I think they only missed 1. So, yeah, very good effort from him. That Reds forward pack is certainly looking pretty useful. Locks, I've gone with Caden Neville from the Brumbies. He had a try. He used a bit of that long reach of his to get the ball over the line. 5 runs, 10 meters, 4 passes, 15 from 15 tackles. So he was a busy man defensively. 10 line-out wins, which is huge numbers, and also 2 line-out steals. So that guy was dominating the aerial ball. And I've also picked Mitch Dunshea from the Crusaders as another lock. Didn't do that much with ball in hand. 4 runs for 2 meters is not the most impressive numbers, but 8 from 9 tackles. Again, he was busy everywhere else, though. 2 passes, 4 line-out wins, 2 line-out steals, and 1 turnover, 1 on the deck. So he did a little bit of everything in this game. Loose forwards, like I said, I picked a couple of number 8s. And here's the guy from the losing team. From the Stormers, Jono Augustus. He had a pretty immense performance. Between him and Sukumbuza Noche, man, that number 8 jersey is looking well stacked in terms of potential Springbok guys, because both those guys are having great seasons. But I go on with Augustus. He had a try assist, and he seemed everywhere, much like what's the Brumbies player did last week. Augustus was doing it this week. 5 runs, 35 meters, which is a hell of a return. A clean break, 4 defenders beaten, 2 passes and an offload. 14 out of 14 tackles, and 1 a turnover. So he was just tearing it up for the Stormers. I've gone with a Blues player in Hoskins Satutu. All the talk about him getting the nod ahead of Akira Ioane. It's hard to deny him when he's doing things like scoring a try, 15 runs for 105 meters. Now, this is a guy with 8 on his back, not like 11 or 15. 105 meters. 4 clean breaks for a number 8. 5 defenders beaten. 12 passes and offload, and 7 from 7 tackles. He did the works. So he's having a great season. And Liam Wright, another Reds player, he scored a try as well, had 9 runs for 14 meters, also a clean break, also 2 defenders beaten, also 2 offloads, 9 from 10 tackles. One of them was a try saver. I forget who he tackled, but essentially one of the Bulls guys looked to be in for all money, and he essentially grabbed him and turned him around and said, nah, you're not getting over. He didn't win any turnovers, though, which is unusual for him, but still pretty solid shift. So a few Aussies in there. But yeah, good mix of players. Backs, I have gone with Joe Powell from the Brumbies. He had very good numbers, man. If he's in your fantasy team, he would have scored some good points. He had a try and 2 try assists. They did score some points. 3 runs for 25 meters is more than what you usually see from Joe Powell. He's not a typical running number 9. He's not a very big guy. You worry for him when he takes the ball to the line in case he's going to get hurt, basically, because he's quite slender. But no, he did it this week and he got rewarded. Had a clean break, somehow beat a defender. I say that kind of in jest. I mean, he's still one of my preferred Aussie players. He was kind of always the third man in the Wallaby setup, so a bit unfortunate. 9 from 12 tackles is very good numbers for a number 9. Could be better, but still, it's not bad. And even won a turnover. So good effort from him. Number 10, I've gone with Kieran Bosch. How many times has he been on my board in the Dream Teams? A lot. He had a try assist. Now, his goal kicking wasn't as good as it has been. I think he missed a few kicks in that game. But still, he is generally just running the show pretty well for the Sharks. And you can't underestimate how much of an advantage it is having a guy who can kick the ball as high as he does. It makes balls contestable, which wouldn't otherwise be so. So a try assist, a penalty, a conversion, 3 penalty goals. So he had 14 points all up. Remember, the Sharks only scored 24, so he had 14 of them. He made 0 from 1 tackles, which is, again, kind of the one drawback that every time he's on the board, it's like he's never got a tackle ratio better than his missed tackles. I think at best he's usually 50-50, which is still the one area of concern and maybe what keeps him out of a potential Springboks call-up, but I guess time will tell. You can hide players like that, like the Aussies used to do it by putting Quade Cooper back at fullback, so it's workable, but ideally he just improves his tackling. But yeah, easier said than done. Midfield, TJ Faiane. I was either going to go with him or Rico. Rico got 2 tries. Faiane got 2 try assists. I've gone with Faiane, and I'll get to that in a second. But he had 8 runs, 37 meters, 12 passes, so quite the distributor in terms of his role with the Blues. An offload, 3 clean breaks, beat a defender, but 13 out of 14 tackles. Like, part of the most impressive thing about that Blues win over the Lions was how resilient they looked on defense, and I think he's a key part of that there. So very good effort from TJ. Oh, this guy, Braden Ennor, man, did he have some good numbers. He had a try and a try assist. Managed 12 runs for 87 meters, which is a pretty good return. 4 clean breaks and 6 defenders beaten, which is some of the highest of both of those for the week. 8 passes and an offload, 7 from 8 tackles, and 3 turnovers. Like, Liam Wright in the 7 jersey can't get a turnover, but Ennor gets 3. He's going to have a good run at the black jersey, you would think, if we get rugby back on the field at some point. Next, Mark Talea from the Blues. I had to get him in the Dream Team, man. He has been excellent all season. A try assist. He didn't actually score himself, but a try assist, 12 runs, 79 meters. Again, good return. Had 2 clean breaks, had 7 passes, 2 offloads, 3 from 4 tackles, but 13 defenders beaten is ridiculous. 13 defenders beaten. Man, this guy is having a heck of a rookie season. I don't think he played last year. Either way, man. Phenomenal. Geordie Barrett. Can't deny Geordie Barrett. He had a try assist. He had 19 runs for 118 meters, which again is pretty tidy. A clean break and 6 defenders beaten. So I mean, it's not 13, is it? But 6 is all right. 1 from 2 tackles is not the flashiest numbers, but fullbacks often have a pretty tough time making some pretty key defensive reads when they're outnumbered. He had 3 conversions and a clutch penalty at the end, one of 2 of his penalties that he kicked. A kick to win the game after the time was up, so he didn't flinch at that opportunity, and also managed to keep one Chiefs penalty that was kicked for touch. He managed to keep it in the field of play, so key man all around for the Hurricanes. And lastly, finish off with another Hurricane in Ben Lamb. He is off overseas next year, but showing why he could have been an All Black. He had a try. He's 28, remember. 10 runs, 42 meters, 2 clean breaks, 2 defenders beaten, an offload, 3 from 4 tackles, one of which was essentially Sean Stevenson, who's a lot younger than him. I think 23, 24. He was gone for all money, but Ben Lamb ran him down. The old fella. Like, remember Julian Savia at 28 was looking slow, not Ben Lamb. He ate those meters and just caught him, like, seemingly pretty easily. So, yeah, that's the team for the week. A decent mix of the teams that won, and not so much of the ones that lost. But other guys you could definitely mention: Severis and Lester Fainganuku for the Crusaders. I think Fainganuku also had like 12 defenders beaten, 13 defenders beaten. Reese had a couple of tries. Maddox for the Waratahs actually looked pretty good with the ball. His defensive stats are atrocious. That's one thing that really lets him down. Salakai Loto for the Reds. Damien McKenzie for the Chiefs. Andre Esterhazen. The fact that he's not on there is probably pretty criminal. And Lakanyo Arm as well. Damien McKenzie, did I mention him? Garth April. He looked very sharp. So did Rudy Page for the Sunwolves. First half, they were very good. Roscoe Speckman for the Bulls. What other teams played? I already got a Stormer on there. Yeah, I think that's most of the guys that I thought off the top of my head. Oh, I also initially had Andy Muirhead on here, but I switched things around a bit. And I also had Lolosio, so I kind of shafted the Brumbies towards the end of the video by putting in a Hurricane and a Shark. So, yeah. Definitely some key performances from some key guys. I think I even had a different guy at loose for, but I cannot recall now who that might have been. But yeah, Rob Simmons was alright for the Tars. More of the Chiefs players probably deserve a bit of a mention as well. But anyway, last Dream Team for a while. We'll see how things go, guys. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Last bit of rugby we've had for a wee while. So, yeah, drop the video a like. That'd be appreciated. And, yeah, we'll have to think of some rugby stuff to talk about. So, yeah, talk to you guys again soon. Take it easy.